Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the game plan. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here at VerifiedInvesting.com. All right, so as you can see, I'm in a hotel room, but I'm still bringing you the action, the data, the technical analysis of what the heck is going on in the markets today, because we have a big sell-off. A major sell-off here in the markets. And ultimately, what we have to look for is what is going on and what are the levels going to be. So we're going to jump right into the charts in just 1 second. But just to summarize, there are two key factors driving the markets sharply lower, to the point where the NASDAQ in the early pre-market trade was down well over 4%. S&P was down as much as 3%. What was the culprit here? Well, over the weekend, yesterday, in fact, there were two planes that went from the U.S. to Colombia carrying migrants. Colombia rejected them, and then ultimately Trump said, all right, well, if you're going to reject them, we're going to slap 25% tariffs on everything immediately coming from Colombia to the U.S. Colombia then did retaliatory tariffs and is now talking about banding together with all the other South, or at least a bunch of the South American countries, to kind of be the strong player against the U.S. So that was one factor. The market's obviously worrying about a bigger trade war of tariffs. The second factor is that you had DeepSeek, which is a new AI model that a Chinese company has launched, and it is supposed to be remarkably amazing. Now, the issue here is we're seeing Nvidia crashing to the downside. In fact, let's bring up that chart as we speak here and take a look. But Nvidia and all other semiconductors are falling sharply to the downside here. As we take a look there, Nvidia is just off of its lows. This is down 10%. Keep in mind, this is a 3.7 or was a 3.7 trillion with a T market cap company, down over 10% this morning. If we want to look at other charts like Taiwan Semi, TSM is getting slammed. Look at this drop on Taiwan Semi today. This is, again, it closed on Friday at 222. It's trading at below 200. 10% drop on Taiwan Semi. Broadcom down 10% this morning and off of its lows. These are massive, massive drops. Now, the kicker is this, is that if new models are coming out, why would companies be spending a truckload of money on what there's currently out there on the market in terms of like OpenAI and other things to build out their infrastructure if there's better stuff on the horizon? So that is why you're seeing these semiconductor companies getting crushed this morning. The SMH, if we take a look at the SMH, it is off of its lows pre-market. But look at this line right here. I want to show you this, guys. Take a look. This is a bear flag, a long-term bear flag. You can see it very, very clearly here, right? So if we take a look at this, here's your bearish consolidation. Here's your flagpole. And again, the idea here is very simple, that if we're seeing this bear flag break down, then this is problematic. Now, you see this lower trend line right here, this one I'm pointing to? Go back to your 10-minute. That's this line right here. So we have fallen on the SMH from up here. And if you go to Friday morning, from here all the way down, we're now right on this level of support. If this breaks, watch out below. This is one of the most impressive long bear flags I have seen in a chart in a long time. Now, it hasn't broken yet, so let's not jump the gun. They might bounce it today right off this 245, 244 level, but let's watch closely what is happening. All right, let's go back to the spiders. The S&P is down on the morning session. Look at this, guys. We closed on Friday at 608 approximately on the SPY. We traded as low as 589 and change. That is a huge drop. Now, remember on Friday, and this is the beauty of it, guys. I love this stuff. All right. So on Friday, in the game plan, I told you guys I'm looking to pick up S&P puts again. You know, that's what I was looking to pick up. S&P puts. I said the charts are ripe for put plays. Volatility is low, which means you pay a low premium, and we're seeing levels hit on the S&P that make for remarkable opportunities. I picked those up on Friday, folks. Holy cow. If you follow the alerts on the website, folks, and these are free, by the way, the Traders Alpha Action on the homepage. If you follow that, you guys can see, again, I posted up about that. Amazing here, folks. In fact, let's go to the homepage right now and take a look. I just want to guide you guys because I think this is so worthwhile. And I apologize, you'll see double of me right here. In fact, we don't need to see double of me. But if we scroll down here, Traders Alpha Action right here. All right, we scroll down right here. All right, we go down here. Let me see, where did I post that there? bear with me. We might have to go to the actual alpha action here. But again, I posted right up here that I was picking up those puts. And we got to flip over to the alpha action. This is just a guide through our website. Okay. Here it is right here. Look at this. Let's click on it. There it is. Grab some SPY August 2025 puts at the money. Risk reward starting to make sense for options, in my opinion. That was on Friday, 3 days ago. Friday. Boom. You can even mouse over it and get the exact time. 9:56 in the morning. If we go back to 9:56 in the morning on the charts, let me flip back to my other chart here. Let's go back to the charts itself, and we look at the action here on the spiders. That was right here. Right up there. So listen, we'll see where these things go. I honestly might be taking profits this morning on those because it's such a massive drop in the markets. Again, but I'll keep you guys posted. Now, let's go back to Friday. Let's talk about the chart levels. So Thursday, we closed above the double top on the SPY right here, double top. So amateurs, retail that doesn't follow here at Verified Investing, that doesn't know technical analysis, they might have said, oh man, this is a breakout on the S&P. We're going to go a lot higher. I'm sure a lot of people thought that, right? What do I say? I say, guys, wait for confirmation. It could be a fake out by the institutions. It could just be a pierce of a double top to wipe out the stops on shorts, all of those things to lure in weak-handed money. All right, what happens on Friday? Do we confirm? Nope. We sell off back below. That was the key. That was the warning that something was up right here. It did not confirm a breakout, so therefore the double top was intact. You'd expect a rejection. Also notice this upsloping trend line. We went right into that. X marks the spot. How many times have you guys heard me say that? X marks the spot. What's happening today? Again, we know this already. These spiders are trading down here at around 595, 596 area, right down here. We're all the way down here. Now listen, does Gareth know? Are we going to continue down or are we going to go back up? I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. What I know is that the double top, it hit it, didn't confirm. The rejection was highly likely. I picked up those puts. Awesome. That's awesome and playing out to the downside. All right. So again, keep an eye on that alpha action, folks. Also, the financial news is awesome in terms of the charting and obviously all the homepage analysis that is updated on a weekly basis is unbelievably key in Verified Investing. And a lot of this stuff is free, folks. Like those puts, I gave them out for free because I don't have an option service. So if I take puts, I'll tell you guys in the game plan and I'll post it up there. No problems whatsoever. You guys benefit. Okay. All right. So what else do we have going on here? Other high flyers. This is one of my favorite. I just covered it on the short side this morning. If you're part of smart money stocks and ETFs, this was CEG. This is one of those nuclear energy utility plays. We shorted this right up here. Why? Look at the parallel. So as a swing trade, I shorted it this morning. Take a look at the chart, guys. Look at this. The stock closed on Friday at 347 and change. It's at near 291 right now. Down over 10%. We already got out. We booked our profit. Thank you very much. Move on. I also, with members on Friday, bought this, the VXX. Again, all aligning, right? Notice how I waited patiently for those charts to align. The S&P to not confirm. Okay, didn't confirm. Let's get some VXX. This could be a drop. The VXX today, after closing at 41.85 on Friday, hit a high this morning of 50, almost 51. Now, by the time I could sell in the pre-market, it was back to 47, but still, that was nice. Still a monster gain. And of course, we picked up some stocks. We banked over 22% in smart money stocks and ETFs on that in 3 trading days. Amazing. I love starting the week out on a positive note with profits in the pocket. All right, a couple other charts to go over here. We have to look at the US dollar. So again, we have the DeepSeek, which is, again, a competitor now and showing way more promise than really anything the U.S. has. That's causing the big sell-off in the semis. We then have the tariff situation, which is causing a big sell-off in the rest of the market. These things have gone from rosy on Friday to very nervous and scared on Monday here. The dollar today, if we look at the dollar, it continues to fall. So the dollar is actually seeing a dump here, and that is very fascinating as well. Coming back in, we kind of kissed my upper band right up here. You can see parallel. And then so really, if we're talking about levels, we should be headed down to this area here around 104 to 105 on the US dollar. The 10-year yield is also falling. Again, I've been a proponent of the TLT, picking up the TLT, which goes inverse to rates, as you guys know. And here we were right up into resistance, accumulated right up in this range. And now again, looking to be in the money as we fall in. But look, we're getting very close to technical support. Remember, so rates will fall when people get nervous economically, right? So they're nervous today. Oh my goodness, tariffs. Oh my goodness, maybe spending isn't going to be as robust. But at the same time, if we get into a tariff war, where tariffs get levied on February 1st on Mexico as well as Canada. And then we also get in a situation where we get these tariffs now 25% on Colombia, maybe retaliatory. This is inflationary. And the kicker is this, is that we have a Fed meeting this week. What are they going to say about these tariffs? Because tariffs are inflationary, contrary to what anyone says. Just use your flat out logic. That's all you got to do. Let's do a logical analysis. So a U.S. good is made, let's say, I don't know, a widget. A widget is made in the U.S. for $10. So it costs, if you buy the U.S. widget, it costs $10. However, U.S. consumers also have the ability to buy a widget from China that only costs $5. So they can buy the $5 widget and save $5. That, again, is not inflationary because they can buy this. But what if you slap on 100% tariffs and that widget now goes to $10? Any U.S. consumer that has to buy a widget is going to have to pay $10. That's inflationary. It's costing double the price. So this is just common sense, folks. And I always like to express this because there's so many players out there. Oh, it's not inflationary. It doesn't have to be because maybe the consumer eats some of that. I mean, the producer, but in general, the producer, we know this. Producers, when their costs go up, what do? Eventually, they push it over to the consumer. So listen, the idea is if tariffs come in full force, how much lower can rates really go if inflation continues to uptick? Now, we'll keep an eye on different charts here, and obviously, I'll walk you guys through. Let's get back to some charts here. So what are some other charts here? I know a lot of you guys have been asking me about Wolf via the comments. I'm not going to cover it every day, so you can stop asking about it, but I love the chart. Look at this trend line peaking above right here. Again, that could be something of interest. You probably should have it up here. So it's right into resistance, but keep in mind, take a look pre-market. It is down a little because the whole market is selling off. But remember, the nice thing about Wolf is that it doesn't matter. And this is the beauty of it, guys. So why is Wolf awesome? Well, this is my humble opinion. It may be a dud, and I've had many duds in my trading career before, but the chips that they make are silicon carbide and gallium nitride, I think. And essentially, they're the chips that go into data centers that help energy efficiency, and also they can handle higher heat. And so the idea is with Wolf's chips, they're not as, like, it doesn't matter whose chips and who's what you're using in the data center, you're probably going to need the alternate energy, these energy efficient chips. So they're not AI chips, they're a different type of chip. And I think that is the ticket here, is that Wolfspeed has these chips that will be in demand regardless. And again, they're more energy efficient. We know how much these data centers in terms of energy are going to use, and these other factors like higher heat ability to handle. All right, so that's an interesting one right there, folks. Let's continue on. Tesla this morning is trading lower here, so we are seeing Tesla. I mean, basically any large cap tech is down. Tesla, you guys know I still have my target right here in the short term, headed to 360, and I would still expect it to go to 360 on the chart. And by the way, it may go lower, but this should be, you can see pivot high, pivot high, pivot high. This should be support right here. And then if we continue on our merry way and we look at something like an Amazon here, which was basically at all-time highs per Friday, is down here pre-market. Let's bring up the pre-market chart. You can see big bounce though. But again, wow, that was down a lot. Holy cow. Closed on Friday at 235, bottomed this morning at 219. I mean, these are massive drops. Now, again, we've had big bounces, but the question is, when the market's open today, is everything going to end up going? Google / Alphabet down. All of these are down across the board. By the way, something I wanted to show you on Google here / Alphabet. This is very rare. This is a three-peat topping tail. 1, 2, 3. That's very rare, folks. What's even weirder about this is it's a bull flag, but these are sell signals. So again, this is one where I honestly don't know which direction it's going. Needless to say, this morning, if we flip over to the pre-market, it's down, but it's just super weird. And again, I'm just pointing this out because of how unique it is. You get a topping tail, topping tail, topping tail, but then it's all bullish consolidation. So again, which one is, basically what this tells me is that if the topping tail fails and you close above here, this thing probably rips to 220. But aside from that, you would favor the downside unless you get a daily close above 202.50. Then it's boom to the upside significantly. And we know that they have their new chip, whatever it is, their high supercomputer chip or whatever the heck it is. All right, let's get on and keep moving along here. SoFi reported earnings this morning. SoFi again, again, the stock is down, but we don't know, is it down because of the market or is it down because of earnings? So it's basically down about 10% like most other stocks. By the way, Palantir is down, Robinhood, all of these fan favorites are getting hammered today, but we'll see where things end at the end of the day. But again, just going to SoFi, kind of a very extended chart up here, and it is selling off to the downside. Again, hard to pick out points. You have the low today from pre-market at $15. That'll be something to watch. If we go to the daily chart here, there's a gap fill at 1450 and then a pivot low at around 1365 right here. Those will be two key levels of technical support right here. All right, so these would be two levels that I'd kind of monitor, even 14 to 1365 right here in that vicinity. All right, let's flip over to Bitcoin and kind of get our bearings on where crypto is this morning. Bitcoin is down. We know that when it's a risk asset, it tends to sell off. Bitcoin is still a risk asset. It is off of its lows, so you have seen some buyers coming in there, maybe MicroStrategy buying more, but ultimately, again, down, broke a short-term trend line. Listen, this is, again, charts in a nutshell, right? Pivot high right into major resistance, double top on this candle with a topping tail. You got your retrace and then your rollover. That's exactly how I told you guys it could play out. If we ever break above here, then it goes to like 120 or 125. But as long as we're below this, this is the path of least resistance back to 92. Ethereum, I haven't done Ethereum with you guys in a while. Ethereum, look at this. Tagged support this morning. This is not a buy level for me. This is a buy level down here. But again, as of now, it tags support and is holding support. A breakout would be a break above this trend line here. Then it would end up going right up in this range. All right, next up, let's take a look at gold this morning. Now, gold, again, you'd say, oh, the dollar's down. Maybe gold is up. Not so. Gold is actually seeing a little bit of selling this morning. You might say, well, why? This is a tough one, right? Because the dollar's down, fear is up. You would assume gold would go up. But again, it is getting caught in the selling and the fear, right? So you're seeing an overabundance. In addition, on a technical basis, let's just say that we had no clue that anything was going on in the world today. When you rallied up into double top, would you have assumed a pullback or a continuation? Like, look, continued upside, upside, upside. There's your double top right there. So just the chart alone, ignoring the news, it actually tells you there's a sell. There's a likelihood of a sell. Now, again, does it make sense to me? Not really, but it doesn't have to. And always remember that charts don't have to make sense. Or I should say that the news in combination to the chart. It's the chart is always paramount. It is what it is, double top. It should sell even regardless of the news. That's what it's doing. So that's all we can do. And again, in all fairness, that's what you would have assumed coming into it. So now my guess is we pull back here and then we make that bigger move up. So it kind of comes down, consolidates, loops up, and boom, to the upside. I think we head to 3,000 by year end. Silver this morning. Silver's even down just a little bit, continues to consolidate above this trend line. This trend line remains technical support. So again, we'll keep an eye on that. I'm semi-optimistic on silver right now, as long as it doesn't break this 29.35 white trend line here, this area right here. If it breaks below this area, then that's problematic. Aside from that, it's still above this line, and it could turn up at any point. So again, at least in the short term, it looks promising. Just keep an eye on that level. Oil, guys, I did unload my position with, or half, I should say. I only unloaded half of my short on oil. This was a great example of dollar cost averaging at major technical levels. Again, we picked up a little short by buying SCO and smart money commodities and miners here, then added here, and then added here, and then boom. Where did it go? First target was right here. Look at the low today, kissing that line. Now, listen, could it go lower? Heck yeah. In fact, I think it will go lower. Okay. But could it bounce first? And then that would be the optimal scenario, which is why I took half off. All right. So again, that's why I took half off. Okay. Next up, natural gas. Let's quickly touch base on nat gas. We'll do one more check on the S&P. Look at this, guys. This is what, for those of you that know the river theory, this is the idea behind it. So it kept on hammering and it just couldn't break. The hardest to break right here. And then what happens? It says, okay, well, I can't break the line, so let's just skip over it, take the bridge over the river, thus the river theory. and now it's free. Now it hasn't confirmed, so let's continue to watch, but technically it is now free to continue falling to the downside. All right, let's go back to the spiders and check in one more time here on the S&P pre-market. Looks like it's fading a little bit. Today promises to be a very crazy day in the live day trading room, so I'm going to be rocking and rolling with those members in just a few minutes. We're going to be getting some good trades, I have a feeling, today, but swing trading wise, crushed it. Options, those options, we'll see where they open today, but again, I may be looking to take profits. I'll update you guys in the game plan, or excuse me, actually, I'm not doing trading to close today, but I'll pass that note on to Drew so that he can let you know if I do unload those put options on the S&P 500 or the SPY, and we'll go from there. But again, today the semis are getting trounced. Look at this drop on Nvidia today, down over 10%. You don't see that very many times on a company like Nvidia, 3.7 trillion as of Friday's close. And now again, look at where it is. All right, guys, this is wild stuff. I'm here to guide you guys, give you guys the levels. Again, as I always say, I'm not always right. I'm just trying to be right a fair amount more than I'm wrong. And I think that's the key, is like no trader in this world will ever be perfect. I certainly am not. But as we can see from these charts, did they guide us? Especially the S&P, right? The S&P, it peaked above all-time highs, never confirmed, and then came back on Friday, and then boom, today. That is picture perfect what you go and expect the probabilities are telling you could happen. Now, listen, did we know this type of big move was going to drop? No, don't know that. But we know that we should head down. It just comes in the form of this bigger move. All right, same thing with the oil trade. I mean, all of these type of things, that's where it's at. The charts, the data, that's where verified investing comes in. I want to make sure you guys understand that we are here to guide you in terms of the charts and the data. There's no bias, no nonsense. It's just what the charts are telling us. It's a probability game. If we do it right, we can make money. You guys have a great rest of your day. Have a good one. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.